What if the distance you feel isn't rejection, but the first sign that you matter more than she expected? That tension in your chest, that confusion in your mind, that whisper saying something changed, it's real. You replay conversations, analyze the pauses, wonder why she used to text back instantly and now she waits. You overthink her tone, her silence, her sudden shift. It's easy to assume you're losing her. It's natural to feel like interest is fading. But pause for a moment, breathe, and consider another possibility, one people rarely talk about. Sometimes distance is not a goodbye. Sometimes distance is a heart trying not to fall too fast. You feel drawn to her and you notice things. The way she smiled before, the warmth in her voice, the effort she used to give. And now, with every delayed reply, every shorter conversation, you sense something delicate happen inside you, doubt. You wonder if you said something wrong, if you lost your spark, if someone else entered her life. Your mind builds stories and fear grows louder. Humans are wired to fear uncertainty more than pain itself. The unknown makes you restless. You want clarity, answers, assurance. But love doesn't announce itself gently. Feelings rarely develop in a straight line. And when emotions get strong, they don't always express as closeness. Sometimes they express as retreat. Because feelings are risk. Feelings make people vulnerable. When a woman senses her heart waking up, unexpectedly, intensely, she may not know how to handle the rush. A deepening connection can trigger an ancient instinct of self-protection. Instead of leaning closer, she steps back to see if you follow, if you get impatient, or if your interest was fragile. She pulls away not because she doesn't care, but because she cares enough to fear the outcome. And that is where your confusion begins. Because the mind interprets distance as disinterest, but the heart knows it could be something more. You are here right now for a reason. Something inside you hopes this isn't the end. You want understanding, not just advice. You want clarity, not guesswork. You want to know if she feels what you feel. And here's why you should watch until the very last moment of this video. The signs you think mean she's pulling away might be signs she's falling deeper. You're about to see her actions differently. You're about to understand what her silence could really mean. You're about to learn why some women run not from men they don't want, but from the ones they want the most. Stay, because the answers you've been searching for live in the space between what she shows and what she hides. Stay, because once you understand the psychology behind fear and attachment, her behavior will no longer confuse you. It will reveal the truth you felt but couldn't explain. Stay, because this might not be a story of losing her. It might be the beginning of something real, if you know how to read the signs. When someone feels something real, walls rise even when the heart wants to fall forward. She might not show her fear through tears or confessions. Instead, she shields herself with silence, shorter replies, a sudden cool tone. Emotion can make people act in ways that seem opposite to what they feel. She might back away not because she's losing interest, but because she's trying to keep control of feelings that are growing faster than she expected. Love is powerful, and power is frightening. Vulnerability is exposure, and exposure means letting someone get close enough to hurt you, disappoint you, or change your life. That kind of risk makes even the strongest hearts hesitate. Think about what it means to truly feel something for someone. It means letting another human hold the power to affect your mood, your day, your peace. It means caring whether they text back. It means noticing their tone. It means wondering if they care just as much. And for many, that level of emotional intensity is overwhelming at first. When she senses that she's starting to care about your reaction, your presence, your attention, she may panic internally. The brain begins to protect what the heart wants to experience. It says slow down, step back, breathe, observe. Not because she doesn't want connection, but because she wants to make sure she won't regret opening the door too wide. This distance is often the fear of attachment, not the absence of it. She might take longer to reply because she rereads your messages, afraid of sounding too eager. She might avoid long conversations because she feels herself getting comfortable. And comfort is the first step toward emotional surrender. She might act cold one moment, warm the next, not because she's playing games, but because her emotions are fighting for balance. A heart that has been hurt before learns to hide, and a heart that is awakening again does not know how to act smoothly. You are witnessing tension, desire pulling forward, fear pulling back. What you feel now, this confusion, is the result of emotional conflict inside her. It's easier to appear distant than to admit she's scared of how much she likes you. It's easier to say she's busy than to reveal she's thinking about you more than she planned. It's easier to stand behind the wall than to risk the pain of letting someone inside it. Fear can look like disinterest. Fear can look like silence. Fear can look like retreat. But beneath that surface, feelings often grow quietly. This is where your strength matters. If you react with insecurity, she sees danger. If you respond with pressure, she feels overwhelmed. But if you understand her hesitation not as rejection, but as a sign of something delicate forming, you gain power, not over her, but over the situation. Emotional maturity is attractive. Patience is magnetic. A calm presence is comforting to a guarded heart. You can make her feel safe not by chasing, but by standing steady. You don't need to force connection. You just need to show that you can hold space for it. The more she senses stability instead of demand, the more her walls begin to lower. Fear begins to soften when met with understanding instead of pressure. You start noticing things that don't match the idea of someone losing interest. She views your stories even when she doesn't reply. She remembers small details you mentioned days ago. She gets quiet when you talk about other women, and her tone shifts, not in anger but with a hint of something she's trying not to show. Her eyes linger longer than her words do. She laughs at your jokes even on days she seems distant. Attraction is rarely logical. It's emotional. And emotions expose themselves through tiny cracks in behavior long before someone speaks them out loud. You might see her avoid deep conversations, yet she lights up when you send something thoughtful. She may not reply instantly, but she never really disappears. She might say she's not ready, but she still checks if you viewed her status or noticed her mood. These are not signs of indifference. These are signs of someone trying to navigate feelings without drowning in them. When someone doesn't care, they don't think twice, they don't hesitate, they don't get nervous about what to say, how to act, how vulnerable they might appear. But when feelings start getting involved, behavior becomes inconsistent. Warm one moment, distant the next. Not because she wants to confuse you, but because she's trying to understand herself. Mixed signals are often the most honest signals. They reveal the battle between desire and fear. She may reply late, but smile at every message you send. She may keep conversations short, yet notice instantly when your tone shifts. She may not open up emotionally, but she listens with the kind of attention that only comes from someone who cares. You feel her energy change. You just don't know what it means. And this is where awareness becomes your advantage. Instead of focusing on the silence, look at what continues despite it. The small attempts to stay connected. The subtle concern when you pull away. The way she softens when you give without demanding. A woman scared of catching feelings won't make it obvious. She hides interest behind logic, caution, pride. But her behavior reveals what her words won't say. She might ask how your day was, casually, as if it doesn't matter, but she listens to every detail. She might laugh and change the subject when things get too deep, not because she doesn't want depth, but because she feels it coming too fast. She might avoid long calls, but she notices when you sound different. She feels you even when she pretends not to. You matter to her more than she wants to admit. Pay attention to the emotional cracks, the glances, the small jealousy she tries to hide, the way she becomes frustrated when you pull back, even though she was distant first. This is not someone walking away, it's someone pacing around the door of connection, unsure whether to knock or run. And beneath that hesitation is something rare: care. If she didn't feel anything, she wouldn't protect herself. She wouldn't hold back, she wouldn't overthink. Fear grows only where value exists. And if her actions feel confusing, it might be because the emotion is bigger than she expected. This is where your understanding becomes a turning point. Instead of reacting with doubt, you begin to recognize the signs of a heart trying to feel safely. You stop chasing clarity through pressure and start finding it through observation. The truth is already showing, not through grand gestures, but through the quiet ways she stays connected even while keeping distance. And once you see these signs for what they are, you stop feeling confused and start feeling prepared to respond with strength, presence, and calm. The moment you stop chasing and start understanding, something powerful happens. Pressure fades, energy shifts. Instead of feeling the need to win her attention, you begin to build a presence that naturally draws her toward you. You don't respond with panic when she goes quiet. You don't explode with emotion when she takes longer to reply. You remain calm, grounded, steady. This is where attraction deepens. Not through intensity but through stability. People are drawn to those who make them feel safe, not overwhelmed. When you stop reacting to her distance as rejection, you become someone she can trust with her vulnerability. Strength here is not loud, it's controlled. It's choosing patience over fear. It's allowing space without creating separation. You give her room to breathe, but you keep the connection alive through warmth, consistency, and presence. You reply with kindness, not desperation. You communicate interest without being for it. You show affection without demanding it back. You stop measuring your worth through her speed of reply, and instead you show that yourself. Esteem does not collapse under uncertainty. Confidence is not needing constant reassurance. Confidence is staying grounded even when the path is unclear. A woman who fears her feelings needs someone who can handle her hesitation without crumbling. She needs to feel that her heart won't be rushed, judged, or taken advantage of. When you show her that you are patient enough to let things unfold naturally, she begins to trust the experience. She sees a man who does not chase validation, but offers calm certainty. You become a source of peace instead of pressure. You are the steady ground she can step toward when her emotions feel heavy. And that calmness is rare, powerful, and deeply attractive. Communication becomes more meaningful when it's not driven by fear. You start speaking with intention. You listen more carefully. You respond with thought instead of reacting with insecurity. You ask how her day was because you care, not because you need proof she cares back. You give compliments that come from confidence, not requests for attention. You learn to hold silence without assuming the worst. Silence is not always absence. Sometimes silence is processing. Sometimes silence is growth. Your energy becomes the invitation. When you lead with understanding, she slowly begins to lower her guard. She starts to feel safe expressing more. She begins to reciprocate naturally instead of defensively. Your steadiness gives her room to come forward, and even if she steps back again, you no longer take it as a personal rejection. You recognize it as part of her emotional process. You don't chase every pullback. You don't mirror distance with distance. You stand as a calm presence she knows won't vanish because of fear. This is how connection evolves, not through forcing closeness, but through creating comfort. You show her she doesn't have to choose between interest and protection. She can have both. She can feel without fear, and your behavior becomes the bridge between hesitation and openness. You are not just someone she talks to, you become someone she can open up to slowly, safely. And as trust grows, fear declines. When she realizes you are consistent even when she is uncertain, she begins to feel that loving you might not be a risk. It could be a relief. When a connection feels safe instead of pressured, something beautiful starts to unfold. Walls fall not through force, but through patience. A guarded heart doesn't open all at once. It opens inch by inch, moment by moment, through consistent energy. You become a calm presence she returns to after overthinking. You become the person she feels relieved to talk to, not obligated. When she knows you won't punish her for being afraid, she begins to choose you because she wants to, not because she feels she must. And that type of connection lasts longer, grows deeper, and builds with real strength. You stop worrying about when she will open up, and start focusing on the man you're becoming in the process. You grow more patient, more emotionally aware, more grounded. Instead of needing reassurance, you become reassurance. Instead of asking where you stand, you show where you stand. You no longer chase love like a scarcity. You let it develop like something sacred. Love built slowly carries more power than love demanded quickly. And when she realizes you are not going anywhere, her fear begins to loosen its grip. If she responds even slightly more warmly when you are calm, if she slowly begins to share more when you give space, if she reaches out when you stop trying to pull her in, you are witnessing a heart trying to find the core. Age to trust again. The small returns matter, the soft messages matter, the subtle vulnerability matters. A woman afraid of falling doesn't leap. She tests the ground first. She steps closer, pauses, waits for reaction, then steps again when she feels safe. And every time you remain steady, you show her she is safe to feel. This is where your patience becomes strength, not weakness. You are not waiting passively. You are leading with emotional intelligence. You are building something real, not rushing toward a label. You are showing her through your actions that connection doesn't have to be chaotic to be real. It doesn't have to be dramatic to be intense. It doesn't have to move fast to matter deeply. You teach her that love can grow slowly without losing its fire. You show her that she can feel without fear, express without judgment, care without shame. She will open up when she knows opening up won't be used against her. She will lean closer when she trusts you won't push her away for being scared. She will give more when she believes you won't demand more than she has. Trust is built through presence, not pressure, through patience, not pursuit, through understanding, not assumption. And if she's scared of catching feelings, the greatest gift you can offer is emotional safety. Safety is more attractive than charm. Stability is more magnetic than intensity. Calmness is more inviting than urgency. So you stand firm. You show up with heart, but without haste. You give space, but you remain present. You let connection breathe instead of forcing it to run. And slowly, as she feels secure in your consistency, she sees that her fear doesn't need to protect her anymore. Because with you, love doesn't look like a threat. It looks like a future. When she begins to feel that loving you doesn't require losing herself, her guard starts to lower in ways you can feel even. Before you see, her messages become warmer. Her responses carry more depth. She remembers things you said casually, because they mattered to her more than she admitted. She asks about your day, not out of routine, but out of care. She opens up in small, vulnerable ways. A fear she shares, a thought she never expressed before, a feeling she hints at. Not all at once, not dramatically, but gradually. Healing happens slowly, and love often follows the same rhythm. You don't pull on the blooming flower. You water it, you give it sun, you let it unfold at its own pace. And that is exactly what you're doing. You're choosing maturity over impulse, strength over insecurity, love over fear. You're becoming the kind of man who doesn't chase love from lack, but attracts love from abundance. You're not proving yourself through words. You're proving yourself through energy. A heart trusts what it feels, not what it's told. And your calm energy is speaking louder than any confession ever could. The greatest turning point comes when she realizes you don't need her to validate your worth. You simply enjoy her presence. You want her, but you don't depend on her attention to feel whole. You desire connection, but you're not afraid of taking things slow. That balance is rare. Most people rush because they fear losing. But you walk forward steadily because you believe in the connection instead of pressuring it. You show her you're willing to build something real, not just chase something exciting. There will be moments when fear tries to pull her back again, moments when she gets quiet, moments when she doubts her own readiness, moments when she questions if she should protect herself. But now she also remembers something else. The way you didn't panic, the way you didn't push, the way you held space without needing control. That memory becomes safety. Safety becomes trust. And trust becomes the foundation of love. You start to feel the shift within yourself too. The confusion that once clouded you begins to clear. You no longer obsess over every message or moment of silence. You understand that patience doesn't mean waiting endlessly. It means connecting consciously. It means giving her the room to feel and giving yourself the power to lead emotionally. You are not reacting anymore. You are responding. You are not chasing. You are inviting. You are not trying to convince her. You are becoming someone worth choosing. That shift is everything. Because when she feels safe, she steps toward you with intention. And when she steps toward you, even lightly, even slowly, something inside you recognizes the meaning. That kind of connection is different. It doesn't fade quickly. It doesn't break easily. It grows with depth, not speed. And if she was scared of catching feelings, your steady presence becomes the reason she eventually lets them in. You become the place her heart can rest, not the storm it must survive. So you continue showing up with strength, clarity, and patience. You let your actions speak confidence. You let calm be your power. You let presence be your language. Because the love that's meant to arrive doesn't need force. It needs space. It needs time. It needs trust. And you have built all three.